Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'm your host, the experience that some call Jason, and with me as always,
CDL 113, the droid you're looking for.
And Todd Father.
and today we're going to talk about toys. Specifically, the newest offering from HasLab, Robbie Reyes' Hell Charger.
The Engine of Vengeance. Get the title right, damn it. It's the Engine of Vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I can feel the enthusiasm coming through the mic.
He literally sounds like the fandom. Yeah.
Well, I've never been a real big Ghost Rider fan, and if I had to take a Ghost Rider, I'm probably taking the original one just because that's the only one I've ever actually read the books on. My dad had a chunk of the early original Ghost Rider, and that's pretty much been my exposure to him.
You never read Dan Ketch?
I was aware of him. I have other books, other books I collected that he'd pop up in, but no, I never read his own book.
I don't feel bad. I never read his own book. I only had stuff that he would guest star in. He popped up in Spider-Man. If he popped up, I had that the Jim Lee run of X-Men where he showed up. But yeah, I'm kind of right there with you.
Well, I read a lot of the original Ghost Rider books. Of course, I didn't buy them new because they were older than me, but I read a lot of those. And then when Dan Ketch version came out, I read that. And then I was out of buying books when the Reyes came along. But he was in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I liked his character. And I liked what happened to the car when he would.
Yeah, no, I did like him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., all right.
I got one customer already. 1 out of 3.
Okay, you give me the money. Now buy
Oh, no.
Todd, give us the rundown on the campaign, I guess.
It's an 18-inch car. It comes with the Robbie Reyes version of Ghost Rider. It's got clip-on. It's got hell wheels with clip-on fire and stuff like that. And you can also take off the engine box and the flaming wheels. You can put regular wheels on there, so you could have a regular, not quite actual Dodge Charger. Some of the people I know that are really into cars, yeah, I've heard that. I've seen and heard that nitpick a lot. It's not really a Charger. It's kind of Charger-esque. It's, But anyway.
That's probably for copyright reasons, if I had to guess.
Yeah. But you can make it look like a normal car, or you can make it look like, it's on fire. If they've got an early bird special on it, so if it funds by midnight this is Thursday, right?
Yeah.
If it funds by midnight tonight, you'll get a Robbie Reyes human figure.
And the costume on the Robbie Reyes human figure is different than the costume on the Ghost Rider.
He's got different legs and a human head.
The chest is different too because he's got the white trim.
The Ghost Rider has a white trim.
I was thinking it was different.
Nope.
Maybe the color was different.
Nope. It's the same stuff.
But the first goal, first 9,000 goal is Mephisto. Okay, go to the.
But yeah, I'm looking it up now. But anyway, yeah, if it makes it to 12,000.
12,000, yeah.
He gets Mephisto. And right now, it's sitting. Ooh, it went down. It's sitting at 5,021 out of 9,000. So it's got to, in less than 24 hours, it's got to pick up 4,000 more backers to get to Robbie Reyes. I could be wrong.
No, I don't think it's going to make it. Not unless,
No, I redid it. It's not 5,000. It's 5,120. Still, don't make it.
No, probably not. Not unless.
Support it. Yeah, it's gonna have to pick up better than 4,800 people in less than 24 hours. It ain't got to 5,000 something in a few days. So
next, it's $350.
It's $350.
$350.
And that's the point of contention because that car is the same price as the Sentinel, which was, a 2-foot tall, HasLab. Plus the tendrils on the Sentinel are as long as the car. Plus you had the 2 prime Sentinel figures that went with it. an extra hand, 3 extra heads. You know, it had a lot of extra stuff with it. Where this was, car.
Yeah.
They're charging you more. They're giving you less.
Yeah, and that's been the point of contention. Is this is one, and I think the simplest way to explain the fan reaction is this: if you bought the Sentinel, that was like a showcase of your collection. If you were collecting X-Men figures, you had this Sentinel as a showcase. The Galactus, which was $50, granted, it's $50 more than this. But if you bought that Galactus is going to be the centerpiece of your collection.
Not to mention, with the unlocks, you got all these heralds in there.
Yeah. This is going to be something in the background. It's a car. A car is not going to be the centerpiece of your collection. It's truthfully going to be something in the background. So $350 is a bit much for something that literally just going to be in the background. I really can't envision that being the centerpiece of anybody's collection when they go, my creme de la creme is this.
Yeah.
Unless you just happen to be somebody that collected cars or something.
Yeah. I was talking with another guy on Facebook, and I said, what I think they should have done with this particular HasLab is lower the goal, lower the price on, lower the goal, and go, okay, Rhea's in the car is your first batch. If you get 2,000 more, do like they did with the Hiss, build it at 2,000 a pop.
Yeah.
And go, okay, your first thing is going to be Mephisto. Second thing, we're going to give you the original Ghost Rider and a motorcycle, and have a paint scheme different, or have one with the blue flames, or do something slightly different, still in that scheme, or some of the villains that they haven't done for the Ghost Rider, and make it.
Well, that is what they are. The stretch goals are all villains. They did say in the live stream that like the His Tank had all the clip-on stuff.
Yeah.
That was one of their points of contention. Was like, well, we're giving you all the clip-on stuff is gonna come with it, so we're not giving you anything for the car. Well, the thing is, there's literally nothing to give you for the car, because if they'd went, oh, we're gonna give you these flame effects as a stretch goal, you'd had people go, oh, hell no.
Because the only other clip-ons that they could give you was the blue flames.
Yeah, and they don't fit the. That's not going to pull anybody in.
No.
So, and with it being the Reyes Ghost Rider, not that Ghost Rider has a huge rogues gallery anyway, you really got nothing to go with it. His book was not a raging success. I think his most successful outing has been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's a current Avenger, but he doesn't really have his own rogues gallery or anything in there.
Yeah. So
I had access to a friend that was at a panel type thing that Hasbro did, so I know the stretch goals. The stretch goals are Mephisto, Blackheart, Damon Hellstrom, and the Goblin Queen.
Not bad characters to get.
But Mephisto, I don't know what order they be coming in, but I know Mephisto's a big gun, and you had some people look at, oh, nice Mephisto. Where's the throne? It's a I think it's a 7-inch figure. So that was one of the contentions when we found out what the stretch goals were going to be. Is we were trying to figure out, well, if Mephisto was like a deluxe figure, something 8-10 inches, kind of on par with the Hulk or Thanos or something like that, you go, okay, so that would be $40, $45 figure. And then if Blackheart was the same size, that's a $40, $45 figure. And then with the current prices of Marvel Legends, if the Goblin Queen and Hellstorm were both 6-inch, well, that's a couple more $30 figures, and you start going, well, that's justifying, maybe kind of justifying the price. But Fisto just gonna be, I think he's 6-7 inches tall.
I'm gonna say 7.
And you ain't real sure if they count like the top of his hair.
Yeah.
So
they probably.
So that's that hurt, the fact that there's no accessory or throne or something for him. We did look online and found the old Marvel Select one. If you can find one, you pay about $150 to $250 for it, which is still $100 cheaper than the Hell Charger. So, if you were buying that, putting Mephisto behind a paywall may not have been the brightest idea in the world. Truly, I don't think out of the things that had an anniversary this year, I think they went the wrong route.
Yeah.
Because if you watch the live stream, them trying to sell it was almost like they knew that was kind of pathetic and they were kind of grasping at straws. It was like, oh, you can make it look normal. And then you can put your Blade with it or your Fast and the Furious figures. And it's like, I got no Fast and the Furious figures. This is a Marvel Legends thing. I'm not doing that. And it was like, it's got working wheels. It was like, oh, really? Oh, no, that you move yourself and see it roll. I mean, if you look at the video, they show it's like, look, the wheels roll. Yeah, I got a Batmobile that I had when I was 3 from the 70s and the wheels rolled.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a sweet new function or something.
Apparently all those Hot Wheels we had as kids just sat there.
Yeah.
They didn't realize when we were rolling them,
So you had that and the Ghost Rider, 2 of his weapons. See, it's got a real chain. It's got the... Man, I was like, dude, the toys I've had. Really? Is that the best you got? And it's like, yeah, kind of the best we got. How much is it? $350? No.
Yeah. It's like I was telling my wife, that it had come out, and I showed her a picture of it, and I said, I'll give them credit on the car, the fact that when you open up the door and the seats will slide forward so you can put figures in the back seat.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. The gear shift works. I said, but this is not something you buy for a kid to play with and break. I said, this is something that an adult collector is going to buy and put it on a shelf and tell the stories about, oh yeah, this is, so-and-so from such and such, and he goes along with this character and that character, and the kid comes up to look at it and touch it, or the niece or nephew or cousin.
Yeah.
Don't touch that.
Yeah, $350.
Yeah.
And I think that's the lesson. I think this thing will fund. The Robert Reyes figure, I don't think you get that. You might get to the Mephisto, but it's iffy because when you start talking about 12,000 of them, they really probably should have dropped that down to about 10 or 11.
Yeah, I think
because I'm wondering if it's gonna do like Galactus. Galactus kind of floated in the city, but it's 5,000, it's 6,000. Then when it got to the last week, it exploded. So I'm wondering if this is gonna do something similar. I know the current, but the difference is Galactus didn't have the buzz on Galactus online. You would have people go, "My God, it's high, but I want it."
Yeah.
It's this, but I want it. I can't afford it. I wish I could have it, but I want it. I just can't afford it. You got the majority of the buzz online is Hasbro's bending us over. This ain't worth.
Yeah.
And that's the trick. I think Hasbro's gonna have to learn the lesson that as far as the HasLabs go, you've always got to go for that centerpiece. There are some people online that go, well, we wanted vehicles and this. Yeah, but it's a car. It ain't a Quinjet. If it was a Quinjet or a Blackbird that's to scale 1, you're in a mansion because otherwise, where in the hell you gonna put the damn thing?
Yeah.
And it's a car. It's a hollow car. It's a car, and you've had better cars for cheaper.
Yeah. Well, the guy I was talking with, he said, okay, if you've got the car for Reyes, and like you mentioned, the throne, he said if they've done the throne or some sort of hellscape from Mephisto, and then whoever else the characters are, have some sort of, like effect or whatever that goes with them. He said, because like if they had done, say, okay, we're going to do Reyes in the car, and then we're going to do a throwback version of the Ghost Rider, the original Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, or we're going to do a Dan Ketch or the female Dan Ketch.
Do you know what would have been good for Ghost Rider's anniversary? Not a HasLab, but a Legendary Rider series. Like a Ghost Rider, We Got You.
Yeah.
And if, for his anniversary, and you could have charged $1,800 a figure for it. Do the Hell Charger and a Riz. That thing ain't worth more than $150. It just ain't.
No.
Do that. Give, Give me the shiny wheels and a couple of flame effects on it, and call it a day. You know, that I'd pay $150 for that.
Yeah,
because it's something in the background. Do classic Ghost Rider like the one that they did before. Do Ketch's Ghost Rider with his different bike and stuff like that, and just do 3 or 4 legendary riders. Put them out. HasLab should always be your centerpiece. This is if I spend the money for this is the crown jewel. When Galactus comes to my spot, that's the crown jewel of my collection. This is out of all the stuff I got, this is the big boy.
Yeah.
And car ain't a big. It just there just ain't no justifying it. Now you got people online basically going, well, what you do is you just back it so we can see everything that's coming out. And then if you don't want it, then you're not gonna pull. I'd like to have a Goblin Queen because I'm an X-Men fan. I'm not gonna pay $350 for a Goblin Queen. I'm not paying $350 for Mephisto. I'm not paying $350 for Blackheart. I'm not paying $350 for the actual HasLab, the car. The stretch goals should always be. They should always feel like icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Hey, I bought this Galactus I paid $400 for, and then they gave me Nova, Morg, and the Silver Surfer. That's how you should feel about that. I paid $350 for this Sentinel, and they gave me 3 extra heads, an extra hand, 2 extra figures. They gave me that. It shouldn't be this. Well, I bought this $350 Hell Charger and it wasn't worth it, but once they gave me Mephisto and this and this and this, I feel like I'm less bent over. That ain't gonna work.
No, that's what I'm saying. They should have lowered the stretch goal to, instead of whatever it is now, to like the first tier, like say 4,000, and then go 2 at that. And keep going. It's like, hey, you get folks that want to pay this much. It's literally not screwing.
Literally the price.
Yeah.
No, that thing should not be more than $150, $200. And if they could not do that car for under that, do something else.
Yeah.
It's Thor's anniversary too. They could have, if this had been Surtur, the comic book version of Surtur, with Twilight and the stretch goal, and it gets out that the stretch goals are like the Warriors 3. You have little shadow inserts of the Warriors 3. You fun.
Oh yeah.
It's fun.
Heartbeat.
It was fun because there's a bunch of people that wanted the Warriors 3. There's comic book Surtur is still something that if you had it on your shelf, you would go, that's.
Well, they've done enough of the Norse gods that.
Well, that's just it. They haven't. It's Thor's anniversary, and they literally have only done. You got a bunch of comic book versions of Thor.
You got Odin. You got Loki. You got Sif. You got Valkyrie. You got Ulick the Troll.
Yeah, they did Ulick this year. You got Gore coming, and then you got nothing.
Yeah, but you could have if you got Surtur or hell another giant. Yeah, you could put up there. You'd be like, oh, now see, this is my Norse theme over here.
But it can't be $350, $400 for something in the back, kind of in the background. This ain't good.
No.
Yeah. Like I said, I expected the fun, but I wouldn't be shocked if it didn't, because you may lose if it doesn't look like it's gonna make the 12,000. It can fool me, but I'm not getting the. You're not feeling the energy from the community of people going, man, I really want this. It's literally, we need to teach Hasbro a lesson. I feel like they're bending me over. Oh, they think me crazy.
If they don't come up and either drop the price or drop another, go ahead and give them a couple more drops of, okay, yeah, this is the ones we mentioned in the panel. We got 4 more coming, and
well, they're literally doing, we got, it's gonna be all 6-inch figures, but that's the problem. It's 6-inch figures for $300. Well,
but it's like this. If I gotta pay,
the consumer can make that same argument. Well, inflation, I'm paying this much for gas. I'm not dropping that much on a toy.
Yeah, I can
on a hollow toy.
Drive my car to work or buy a toy. Well, I gotta go to work. because without it, I can't afford the gas to go to work.
Yeah. But I guess that's it's live and learn. It like I said, I do think it'll fun though. I think it'll fun. It's gotten to Halloween, so I think it'll fun. I just don't think I don't think you're gonna get a whole lot extra.
Okay, I got a question for both of y'all. You've already said syrup, so I guess that would be if you could pick.
Yeah, if I could pick for this year, yeah.
All right, Jason, what would you pick?
I don't know. I've been out toy collecting enough that I don't care. I can look at the Hell Charger and go, "That's bad value." Who the crap wants a car for their Marvel Legends? But I'm sitting here just as an outside observer, sort of thinking. Todd keeps going, that he thinks it'll probably fun, and I'm sitting here thinking, but it shouldn't. They need the lesson that there's a British company called Games Workshop. They make Warhammer 40K, biggest miniatures game out there. They have been famous as long as I've been in the gaming hobby for being overpriced. Well, their price, the last big box set, army box set they put out, it's still a little high, but it's a lot cheaper comparatively than the last couple they've done, because the last couple they've done are still sitting on the shelf. They finally hit that point where even their rabid fanboys wouldn't pay the price, and it looks like they may have learned a little bit from that. And I think that's what Hasbro needs, that good rap on the nose of, nope, we are not paying this.
You're probably right. I think their next turnaround, like Todd mentioned, a Quinjet. If they did, say, a Quinjet and said, okay, first stretch goal is going to be 2 Atomic Steeds and Jarvis, or, made it something that the fans are going to want, but made it a reasonable price and reasonable stretch goal, not this, you got to have 12,000 before we show you anything else. No,
but see, that's just it. I think the people that will want vehicles with that, and you know how they always talk about a vocal minority? I think they're a vocal minority, and this is showing it. They're not going to, because you got to look at it. If they want $350 for a car, what the hell do they want for a Quinjet?
That's true.
You probably, in their mindset, they probably talking about $100 Atomic Steeds.
Yeah.
Stuff that, hell, back in the day, you get as a pack-in. My first Hawkeye figure came with Atomic Steed as a pack-in.
Yeah.
So I think Jason, I think, is right there. They need an abject lesson in that we're fans, not crackheads.
Kind of like the Model T Ford lesson.
Yeah.
You can have it in with any color you want as long as it's black. And then all of a sudden, every other car manufacturer out there goes, you know what? We're going to make colored cars. And Ford almost went out of business.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing. I think Hasbro right now is looking at. I think they've looked online and seen what some people are willing to pay scalpers and second party and foreign toy shops and all this. Oh, they'll pay $80, $90 because you can't tell me that the biggest toy company in the world has to, even though just your baseline Marvel Legends, like the Toad that I just showed you. You can't tell me that Toad is really worth $31. You can't tell me it costs them that much for them to charge me that much to make a profit off of that toy.
No.
It's not even 6 inches tall. If McFarlane can give you 7-inch toys at $19, why the hell are Legends 30? Legends are 30 because people have gone online when you didn't have something or you wanted it early or something like that. Well, I'll go buy it from Britain. I'll go buy it from Japan. Yeah, I'll pay $50, $60 for it, and you ain't telling me nothing. Hasbro's got somebody that looks at the online traffic and goes, hey, these suckers will pay this much. If you'll pay $50 to get Toad online early, why would you pay $30 to get it? You've obviously got it.
Also, something that I think has factored into that is the folks that take existing toys and turn them into something else. And because, like, before you had the G.I. Joe line, I knew a lot of folks that had customizers that would make Snake Eyes or whoever you wanted and kit bash them from the wrestling figures and the Marvel figures and the DC figures and they were paying these guys $60-$80 to make that figure
Yep.
look the way they wanted. And these toy companies were like, you know what? We need to cut into that market.
These suckers got money.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them for that to a certain
Yeah.
degree, but the hell charger kind of needs to be the line, because they're looking at you like a drug dealer. It's like, you are addicted to this and you'll give me whatever I ask for whatever I give you. And no, that the fandom basically needs to go, no, you need to eat one.
Yeah.
And if they eat it, all they got to do is, like they were going online and look online. Why did this thing tank? It was too high. Offer less for less, offer more for that price.
Yep.
Them's your two choices.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they want this to fund like that, they're going to have to come up with, like you say, Mephisto's throne and whatever the other.
But that's the trick with the HasLab. The HasLab should always be a centerpiece.
Yeah,
that's the only way that you don't. If it takes the stretch goals to make it feel worth it, you fail. And that's why this thing is puttering along, is because everybody's looking at, what are the stretch goals? Because, like I said, it's absolutely possible that if everybody went, well, we're going to all jump into this, just see what the stretch goals are, and I'm telling you what the stretch goals are, you're going to have more than half of them people go, I'm good.
Yep, and jump back out.
And then you don't get it. Because if people leave, it does go down. I watched that with Regal's lightsaber. It'd go up, and then some days it would go down. The worst
didn't make.
No. Star Wars has had two in a row crash because they tried the Rancor, and they did this. It was one of the kind of things where it was a Rancor, and then all the stretch goals was stuff that either you didn't care if you had or not, or things that you already had, and it failed.
It's probably going to be a big failure for them.
Like I said, I think it's gonna squeak by. But if it didn't, it wouldn't shock me. But I think it's gonna squeak by. I don't think you gotta. I think the only way you're gonna get Mephisto is they release it someplace else.
Yeah, if it doesn't make, and they've already spent all this money to come up with the figures, you'll see them
somewhere
2 years down the line.
Yeah.
In a villain's wave.
Yep.
Or especially if they do a Ghost Rider movie or Midnight Suns movie, you'll see
they'll pop up on Amazon in a box.
Yeah.
But that's all I got.
I was about to ask if there was any final thoughts on it.
Yeah, and like I said, it's
HasLab, do better.
Yeah, Hasbro needs to do better.
Should that be the title of the episode? HasLab, do better.
It would be true to form. They need to do better. That's you cannot offer things that people old enough to afford this can remember having this for less.
Yeah.
And you can look at their competition and see the difference in prices. So
yeah.
And
but they aren't learning that lesson at all. And it's the reason why McFarlane Toys was the number one, had bumped them last year, because they make a metric ton of Batman that you go, my God, how many damn Batman figures are you gonna do? But they $19 where your Legends are $30, and they bigger.
Yeah.
So I'm getting. If I can get 7 inches for 19, why in the hell am I paying 30 for 5?
Yeah, there's some of those McFarlane. I haven't bought any, but I've picked them up and looked at them and thing. I'm like, oh my God, this thing weighs as much as Juggernaut. Just heavy. So.
A $40 McFarlane figure is huge.
Yeah.
Man-Bat, Bane, Swamp Thing, Clayface, them damn things are huge. Now, I don't know how, being McFarlane, I don't know how, if they disintegrate on contact with air, which is always possible, but they big.
all right, then I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this here then. If you're out there and you've got an opinion on HasLab or the Marvel Legends Hasbro line, period, let us know. Leave a comment below. Send us an email at thenerdattornal@gmail.com. If you disagree with us, if you want to argue that the hell charge is worth every penny, write us in. We'll read it out on a future episode. We don't mind you disagreeing with us as long as you're willing to discuss with us. So anyway, till next time, I've been your host, the experienced some call Jason, and with me today is Ben.
CDL 113.
The blurred dawn of the Ville, the Todd Father.
And we will see y'all next time.